Today, I want to help you look at where your life was, look at where it is, and more importantly, set some goals for where you want to be. You and I both know as we're sitting here in the fourth quarter and you're thinking about the next year, it's always about finding that motivation, that drive, that energy to move beyond your comfort zone, to realize your truest potential. So the first question I would ask you is, where were you physically 5 years ago? What did you look like? What did you weigh? How old were you? And you want to just have a sense of that. Where was your family life 5 years ago? Now, as I'm asking these questions, right, it's going to maybe elicit a little emotion, positive or negative or neutral, either one is fine. Where were you spiritually 5 years ago in your life? How about in your career, in your business? Were you in the real estate business, the mortgage business, the insurance business, a startup company? Where were you 5 years ago and what did it look like? You actually want to take the time to write out, okay, 5 years ago, that would be, is that 2014, right? 2015, 2014? And literally say, okay, so it's 2014, gosh, I was this many years in and this is what that year looked like. And it was a monster year in the residential real estate business. I had one of my best years ever. You list it all out. But also, you might look and say, boy, that was a tragic year for me. You know, my business wasn't working right. This happened, a business partnership fell apart. Whatever it is, we're just trying to assess where were you at that time period of your life. Same thing with your attitude and mindset. Same thing financially. What was your net worth? How many homes did you own or do you own? And where were you at 5 years ago? Now, as you go through this exercise, it's just so powerful to not get emotionally attached to the past, but to just reflect on the past. Then the second step he'd always take me through is then to say, now, where are you today? So once again, right, I hope you grab the worksheet, you download this, and you actually do the assignment, right? Where's my intellectual side today? How many books have I read? How many podcasts have I listened to? What have I leaned into over the last 5 years? How have I grown up here, right? We all know, like Jim Rohn always said it, if you just spent the same amount of time on yourself getting better as you do your work, you're going to explode in your life. You now see where there's been tremendous growth, but you might also see in your life, where have you maybe fallen short? Where have you maybe not put your intention? Where have you not put your focus, your concentration? We know, right, through Pearson's laws and others, that whatever we track and measure improves. Whatever we track and measure improves. And if we track and measure and we report it back to someone else, the rate of growth accelerates. And that's what we all want. We just don't want to be one-dimensional and have it only be in our sales business. We want to have it in all the equities of our life. Now, the next part is fun. Where do I want to be 5 years from today? Basically two types of people on the planet. People that know what they want and are working towards it, and people that are kind of always in complaint saying it's the man's fault, or they didn't get a fair share, or they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. We hear all these sort of negative cliches. And I would ask you, like really, 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 when was the last time you said to yourself, this is where I want to be in the next 5 years. This is what I want to accomplish, not just in my career, but in my relationships, with my health, right? With the spiritual side of my life, whatever that means to you, spiritual contribution, all the areas of our life. So here's the challenge. You ready? I'm going to ask you to dream boldly and say, where do I want my life to be 5 years from today? And what I would challenge you to do is to write 3 goals, 3 measurable results that you want to produce in each area of your life over the next 5 years. So that's my first challenge, to write out 3 goals in every one of those areas. And of course, always put a timestamp by when, make it as clear and specific as possible. You've heard me say to you before, if you are vague, you're going to be punished. If you're vague, you're gonna be punished. You gotta be very clear and specific about what it is you want. How much of what, by when, that's the formula. Now, after that is done, I'd love for you to create a dream list of the top 10 things you want in your life. Now, that could be experiences, that could be vacations, that could be people that you want to meet, people you want to connect with, adding 2 or 3 new friends to the friend group, right? Mastering a skill, getting a black belt in karate or whatever fires you up. But I just believe that when we have all these exciting experiences, I'm challenging you as you think about the new year to go for a clean slate, tabula rasa, starting over. What's your top 10 dream list? The 8 equities of your life, 3 or 4 goals in each one of those. And now, you know what my hope is? Now when I start talking about your business plan and what it is you want to accomplish and how much of what and by when and how many calls and how many emails and how much marketing, now all of a sudden you don't say to me, well, you know, Tom, I'm just lacking the motivation. You're like, wait a minute, I got this dream list of things I want to accomplish. I got these places I want to go. I want to buy another investment property. I want to do this for my family. I want to do this, spiritually for contribution and connection. And now all of a sudden you have motive to act. And that's the game.